Welcome to episode 1 of 10-Minute Workouts. This is going to be a 4-part series, and in this week's video, we're going to be looking at toning and firming up your tummy, hips and bottom. But before we begin, I just want to say a massive thank you to you and everyone who's watching for staying at home as much as possible and reducing the spread of COVID-19. And I know that it's not easy, especially with the good weather ahead, but so many of you have been following the rules on social distancing, which is great. But please remember that we're all in this together, and together we can overcome this challenge, just like we've overcome many challenges in the past. Now, while you're staying at home and socially distancing, it can be very easy to fall into an unhealthy pattern of behavior, which can make you feel down, unmotivated, and it can even dampen your immune system. So it's super important that you stay mentally and physically active, and I really hope this video helps you do that. So what we're waiting for? Let's begin with the workouts. Before exercising, it's very important to always warm up to prevent any injury. Thank you to Millie and Mo for kindly filming and demonstrating these home exercises during lockdown. Okay, let's begin the workout with squats. These are great for firming up the bottom and thighs. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart and your hands down by your sides, or stretch out in front for extra balance. Now lower yourself by bending your knees until they're nearly at a right angle with your thighs parallel to the floor. Keep your back straight and don't let your knees extend over your toes. Aim for 2 sets of 15 to 24 repetitions. Nice work. Next up, we have lunges, which are great for firming up the bottom and thighs. Stand in a split stance with your right leg forward and left leg back. Slowly bend the knees, lowering into a lunge until both legs are nearly at right angles. Now, keeping the weight on your heels, push back up to the starting position. A useful tip is to keep your back straight and don't let your knees extend over your toes. Aim for 1 set of 15 to 24 repetitions on each leg. Nice work. Now, before we move on to the next exercise, let's have a 15 to 45 second recovery with a simple jog on the spot. Okay, now it's time for calf raises, which are great for shaping the legs and calves. Place your hands on a wall or chair for stability. Stand straight but avoid locking your knees. Slowly move onto your toes, lifting your heels off the ground, and then slowly lower your heels back down. Aim for 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Next up, we have bridges, which are great for firming up the bottom. Lie on your back with your knees bent and heels close to your bottom. Keep your feet shoulder width apart and flat on the floor. Raise your hips up to create a straight line from knees to shoulders. As you come up, tighten your abdominal and buttock muscles. A useful tip when doing this exercise, don't let your knees point outwards, and aim for 2 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions. Okay, how are you doing? We're halfway there, but before we move on to the next exercise, let's have a 15 to 45 second recovery with a simple jog on the spot. Now it's time for stomach crunches. Lie down on your back, knees bent and hands behind your ears. Keeping your lower back pressed on the floor, raise your shoulder blades no more than 3 inches off the floor and slowly lower down. Don't tuck your neck into your chest as you rise, and don't use your hands to pull your neck up. Aim for 2 sets of 15 to 24 repetitions. Only 2 more exercises left. You're doing great, but before we move on to the next exercise, let's have a 15 to 45 second recovery with a simple jog on the spot. So next up, we have obliques, which are great for toning up those love handles. Lie down on your back with your knees bent and together and feet off the floor. Place your left hand behind your left ear and extend the right arm out. Now, keeping your lower back pressed into the floor, lift your shoulder blades off the floor and curl your upper body diagonally across your chest towards your right knee and lower down. Aim for 1 set of 12 to 24 repetitions on each side. Only 1 more left now, you're nearly there, but before we move on to the next exercise, let's have another 15 to 45 second recovery with a simple jog on the spot. Okay, last exercise, back raises, probably one of the hardest, but it's great for helping with posture. Lie down on your chest and place your hands by your temples or extended out in front of you for more of a challenge. Now, keeping your legs together and feet on the ground, raise your shoulders off the floor no more than 3 inches and slowly lower down. Always look down as you perform this exercise. Aim for 2 sets of 15 to 24 repetitions. And that's it, you're all done, but please don't forget to cool down with a full stretch routine at the end to prevent any injury. I will leave a really useful NHS link to warm-ups and cool downs in the description below in case you need it. Now I really do hope that you find these exercises useful, and as I said at the start of the video, it's super important whilst you're staying at home, you stay mentally and physically active, because it's very easy to fall into an unhealthy pattern of behaviour, and that's going to make you feel down, it's going to make you feel demotivated, and worst of all, it could even dampen your immune system. And thankfully the NHS have some really useful articles on staying mentally active and lots of general advice on what to do whilst you're staying at home. I'd highly recommend everyone checks them out, and I will leave links to them in the description below. It's also worth mentioning that if you are trying to lose weight and dangerous visceral fat, I did make a video not long ago all about dietary advice from a study done in Oxford. And the results of the diet are pretty incredible. Participants lost about 0.5 to 1 kilogram every single week, which is great, right? But here's the best bit. After 6 weeks, participants reduced their dangerous visceral fat by 14%. They also reduced their cholesterol. They also reduced their blood pressure, and they reduced their waistline by 5 centimeters. So if you are interested in finding out more, I will leave a link to that video up here and in the description below, so feel free to check it out. And that is the end of the video. Always remember that you're awesome, and I will see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos.